Hi, this is Eric Saylors, speech-language pathologist and owner of Expressive Solutions. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a mood ring in an iOS app. Let's begin by creating a new project. Here in Xcode, I'm going to use the shortcut Command-Shift-N. This will be a single view application, and I'm going to call it MoodRing. Then I'll tap Create here, and I'll go immediately over to the storyboard file where I'll set up the interface. I'd like to have an image view, so I'll just drag that over here onto the interface, and I'm going to resize this doesn't have to be an exact size, so that'll do right there. Alright, now I want an image of a ring to display in this image view. Well, I previously got a ring image here, which you can see on my desktop. I had just saved it from a stock photography website, and now I'm going to drag it into my project. So I'm just going to drag it over here, and I see now that there are some different options here. Everything that I have selected is just fine. It's really important that I make sure that this destination here is selected for copying items into the destination groups folder. It is, so I'll tap finish, and now I see that I have the ring here, the ring image in my project. With the image view selected, now if I go to the attributes inspector, I can go to the drop down menu for image and select ring, and there we go, we have the ring. Alright, now I would like a picker, and I don't want the date picker, I want the picker view, which I'll drag here down to the bottom of the interface right there. Alright, now with this picker view, I'm going to make some connections. So I'll go to the connections inspector, and I'm going to drag from the data source over to the view controller, and I'll do the same for the delegate here. I'm doing this because ultimately I'm going to have to implement some methods for the data source and the delegate. But first, I'll go to the viewcontroller.h file, and I'm going to add a couple protocols. One is for the picker view data source, and the other one is for the picker view delegate. Alright, next I'm going to add a property that will be non-atomic, and this will be an array which I will call moods. This array is going to allow me to create a list of moods in an array. Alright, let's go over to the viewcontroller.m, and I want to point out how here in the implementation file we see a warning. And this is just indicating that we have our protocols that we're going to have to implement. Let's not worry about that for now. We'll get to that in just a moment. But for now, I'd like to go to the viewDidLoad method, and this is where we can add a list of moods. And I'm just going to add them as strings. So let's start off with happy. We'll do angry, sad, and tired. Alright, that's good for now. Also, what I'd like to do is to have a background color immediately upon launch of the app. So I'm going to go to myself.view.background color, and I'm going to set the color as follows. I will do UI color yellow color. I chose yellow because when we launch the app, the first mood that will be selected in our picker is happy, and I want the yellow color to be associated with the mood happy. Alright, now we're going to have to implement our protocols. The way I'll do this is by going back to my viewcontroller.h, and I'm going to press Command click on the data source, and I'm going to see that there are a couple required methods. So let me just copy these, and then I'm going to paste them into my viewcontroller.m. I'll do that right below viewDidLoad. And for the first method here, I'm going to have some curly braces, and I need to indicate the number of components in the picker view. And I'm going to have to return an integer value. And in this case, the picker view is only going to have one column, and that indicates the number of components. So we're just going to return 1. Then for the next method here, we are going to indicate the number of rows in the component, and again, this is going to return an integer value. Rather than returning a specific number, I'm just going to say self.moods.count, and this will just allow us to have the count of the rows set for the picker. Alright, next up, I want to go back to the viewcontroller.h and go over to the picker view delegate. I'll press Command click, just like I did for the data source, and we see that there are some optional methods to implement. If I scroll down a bit, I see title for row, which I will need, and then I'm also going to need did select row. This time, rather than copying the methods and pasting them over, I'm just going to go to the viewcontroller.m, and I'm going to rely on code completion to type out those methods. So let's just do a minus, and then if I start typing for picker view, I can see that here are some of the methods that are popping up in the code completion. So we needed the title for row, and we also needed did select row. So that's this one right here. Press return, and now we have the methods, but we need to implement them. So let's go back up here for title for row, and we're going to go to our self, moods, and actually we're going to type brackets with row here. Oh, I see. Okay. So here's where I need to actually type return first. And then I'm going to access our moods array, and we're going to access the row. So for a given row that needs to be selected in the picker view, we're going to take care of that with this one line of code. Okay, now let's go down to the next method, and there are some different parameters here that we can access, like picker view, row, and component. The only one that we really care about is row, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, what I want to do is create a variable. So we're going to call this UI color, and the variable will be mood color. So we're going to have colors associated with our moods. And the way that we will do this is through a switch statement. And this is going to be row here. And now we need to have statements for each one of the cases. This is zero based, so we need to start with 0. And then the first statement for case 0 is going to be mood color equals UI color, and we will have yellow color, which we want to represent the happy mood. Alright, now we need to do the other cases. So I'm just going to copy and paste, and then I will say this is case 1. And if I recall correctly, I had said that this was going to be the mood angry. So I will use the red color here. And then let's do case 2. This should be for the sad mood. So let's do a blue color. And then for the final case, case 3, this is for the tired mood. So let's use a gray color. Alright, we're not going to have to worry about default, so I'm going to just delete that. And then outside of this switch statement, all I'm going to do is now set the background color, and I will go to myself, view dot background color, and we will set this to the mood color. Alright, let's see how this looks if we build and run it. Okay, I see the ring image, and then I also see the background color set to yellow, which is what I wanted when the app launched, but I don't see the picker view, which would allow me to select different moods and have different background colors. So one thing that I could do to resolve this issue is by going back to our project and then over to the storyboard file. I want to point out how this interface is actually for the 4-inch iPhone. However, I was running the program in the 3.5-inch device, so that's why our picker view didn't show up. But if I have this picker view selected, like so, and then I go up to Editor, I can go to Resolve Auto Layout Issues, and I'm going to add missing constraints in the view controller. So now, even if I have a 3.5-inch device, this picker view is still going to display on the screen. Alright, so let's stop the existing project, and then I'm going to build and run. And here we see the picker view is showing up, and if I select a different mood, like angry, now I have a red color associated with it. And with sad, we have the blue color, and with tired, I have the gray color. And I can even go back to happy, and here's where we have the yellow color. So that was a demonstration of a MoodRing. I'm Eric Saylor, speech-language pathologist and owner of Expressive Solutions. Thank you for watching.